Dramily.com, unlimited drama series.
The text message arrived at 2:47 a.m. while I was debugging code for a client's security system. Working late again, babe. Don't wait up. Schweidum. Being married to Tessa is like sharing a house with a beauty pageant contestant and a tornado. She's Instagram famous now. 35,000 followers hanging on every perfectly filtered photo of her doing squats in designer leggings. Meanwhile, I'm Owen Dale, 38 years old, fixing other people's computer problems and trying to keep our two daughters fed while my wife builds her brand. I stared at the glowing screen of my laptop, then at her message. Working late at the gym again. Third time this week. The same gym where her ex-boyfriend Brett Simons just happened to be the new owner. Dad? Lydia's voice made me jump. My 10-year-old stood in the doorway, her brown hair messy from sleep. Why are you still awake? Just finishing some work, sweetheart. What's wrong? I heard Mom's car leave again. She said she was going to yoga class. But yoga doesn't happen at midnight, does it? Smart kid. Too smart. Sometimes adults have weird schedules. Go back to bed. She gave me that look, the one that said she knew I was lying, but would let it slide. Okay, but Dad? You look tired all the time now. After she padded back to her room, I sat in the blue glow of my computer screen, thinking. Tessa had been working late a lot recently. Always at the gym. Always with cryptic messages about networking and expanding her client base. The next morning, she breezed into the kitchen, wearing a tight sports bra and leggings, her blonde hair in a perfect ponytail, despite allegedly just waking up. Morning, family! She grabbed a protein shake from the fridge. I've got 3 client sessions today, then dinner with the girls to discuss the new fitness retreat we're planning. Which girls? I asked, scrambling eggs for Lydia and Harper. Priya, Michelle, you know, the usual crew. She didn't meet my eyes. Don't wait up again. We might hit that new wine bar afterward. Harper, my 7-year-old, looked up from her cereal. Mommy, why don't you eat breakfast with us anymore? Tessa's smile flickered. Mommy has to maintain her figure for work, baby. Daddy can handle breakfast. Daddy handles everything, Lydia muttered. What was that, young lady? Nothing, Mom. I watched Tessa grab her keys, her designer gym bag, and her phone, which she clutched like a lifeline. Have a great day building your brand, I said. She paused at the door. You know, Owen, if you put half as much energy into supporting my dreams as you do into your sarcastic comments, maybe we'd be happier. I'm plenty happy. Are you? Her jaw tightened. I'm living my best life. Some of us aren't content to hide behind a computer screen forever. After she left, Harper climbed into my lap. Is Mommy mad at us? No, sweetheart. Mommy's just busy, but I was getting suspicious. That evening, I did something I'd never done before. I checked our phone records online. 347 text messages to Brett Simons in the past month. Late-night calls lasting hours. My hands shook as I scrolled through the data. 15 years of marriage, 2 beautiful daughters, and she was texting her ex-boyfriend more than she talked to me. The breaking point came 2 days later. I was picking up Harper from soccer practice when I overheard 2 other moms talking. Did you see Tessa's story last night? Girl was definitely not at any wine bar, right? That looked like Brett's apartment. Same exposed brick wall from his posts. I feel bad for Owen. He seems like such a nice guy. My face burned. Everyone knew. Everyone except me, apparently. That night, I confronted her. We need to talk. Tessa was on the couch, scrolling through Instagram comments. Can it wait? I'm responding to my followers. No, it can't wait. I know about Brett. Her thumb stopped moving. What about Brett? The texts, the late nights, the fact that half the neighborhood knows you're sleeping with your ex-boyfriend. She set down her phone and looked at me with cold eyes. You went through my private messages? I looked at our phone bill. Your private messages are apparently very public. So what if I'm texting Brett? He's helping me grow my business. He has connections in the fitness industry. At 2 a.m., what kind of connections require middle-of-the-night conversations? She stood up, her face flushing. The kind that might actually lead somewhere. Unlike your dead-end IT job. Brett believes in me. He sees my potential. I see your potential too. I also see our daughters wondering why their mother is never home. Don't you dare bring the girls into this. I'm building something for our family's future. By sleeping with Brett Simons? The silence stretched between us like a chasm. Finally, she lifted her chin. If you don't like me working with successful people who used to be part of my life, that's a you problem, Owen. She was right, for once. And I had just figured out how to solve it. The next morning, I called in sick to work and spent the day apartment hunting. By 3 p.m., I'd signed a lease on a decent two-bedroom place across town. Nothing fancy, but it had good Wi-Fi and was close to the girls' school. I moved my essentials that evening while Tessa was at her client dinner. The girls were at my sister's house for a sleepover, so I had time to think. 15 years of marriage. I'd supported every dream, every scheme, every business opportunity Tessa had chased. I'd handled the mortgage, the bills, the parent-teacher conferences, the midnight fevers and scraped knees. I'd been the reliable one, the steady one, the boring one. Well, boring was about to get interesting. I took a photo of my new apartment key, lying on the kitchen counter, and posted it to Facebook with the caption, "Problem solved, luck." My phone exploded within minutes. "Owen, what's going on?" from my sister. "Dude, are you okay?" from my buddy Jake. And then, 20 minutes later, "Call me now," from Tessa. I didn't call. Instead, I drove to my old house, our house, and waited in my car across the street. Sure enough, Tessa's white BMW pulled into the driveway at 11:30 p.m. Brett's red Mustang followed 30 seconds later. They went inside together. The living room light came on, then went off. The bedroom light came on. I took photos, not of anything explicit. I'm not a creep. Just time-stamped images of his car in my driveway, him going into my house, the lights going on and off, evidence. My phone buzzed. Tessa calling. I let it go to voicemail. "Owen, what the hell is wrong with you? The girls are asking where you are. This is insane. Call me back." Luck. I saved the voicemail. Then I drove to my new apartment and slept better than I had in months. The next day, Tessa showed up at my office. She looked perfect as always, but I could see the cracks, dark circles under her makeup. Her smile too bright, too forced. "Owen, honey, what's this about? The girls are confused. I'm confused. I'm not confused at all. For the first time in years, everything makes perfect sense. Come home. We can work this out. Can we? Because last I checked, you were working things out with Brett, in our bed." Her face went white. "How did you know?" "Tessa, you've been about as subtle as a fire alarm. The whole neighborhood knows. It's not what you think." "Really?" "Because I think you're having an affair with your ex-boyfriend, lying to our daughters, and treating our marriage like a side project you can ignore whenever something more interesting comes along." "That's not fair." "Fair?" I laughed. "You want to talk about fair? Fair would have been talking to me before you decided to redecorate our marriage. Fair would have been considering our daughters before you started your little reunion tour." She tried a different approach. "I know I've made mistakes, but running away isn't the answer. Think about Lydia and Harper." "I am thinking about them. I'm thinking about what kind of example we're setting. I'm thinking about what kind of mother prioritizes Instagram followers over bedtime stories. I'm a good mother. You're a part-time mother. The difference is, I'm done being a full-time enabler." That evening, I picked up the girls from school and took them to my new apartment. They loved it, especially the fact that I'd already set up a gaming console and stocked the fridge with their favorite snacks. "Is this where we're living now?" Harper asked, bouncing on the couch. "Sometimes. You'll stay with both Mom and Dad, just in different places." Lydia, ever the perceptive one, studied my face. "Are you and Mom getting divorced?" "We're figuring things out, sweetheart. But no matter what happens, you and Harper are the most important thing in the world to both of us." "Will Mom stop being sad now?" That caught me off guard. "What do you mean?" "She cries sometimes when she thinks we're not looking. And she's always checking her phone like she's waiting for something." Smart kid. Too smart. That night, after I'd tucked the girls into their new beds, I sat in my living room and planned my next move. Tessa had made her choice. Now it was time for her to live with the consequences. I opened my laptop and began documenting everything. Dates, times, phone records, photos. Not for revenge, for protection. If this was going to get ugly, I needed to be prepared. My phone buzzed. A text from Brett. "We need to talk." I stared at the message for a long moment, then typed back. "No, we don't, but I was wrong. We definitely needed to talk. Just not the way he was expecting." Ta 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 ta. Brett's gym was called Elite Fitness, which was laughable, considering it was in a strip mall, between a nail salon and a tax preparation office. But it was trendy, with exposed brick walls and industrial lighting that photographed well for Instagram. I parked across the street and watched. Tessa's BMW was there, along with Brett's Mustang. Through the windows, I could see her leading a yoga class, all graceful poses and perfect form. Brett stood nearby, arms crossed, watching her like she was performing just for him. Maybe she was. My phone rang. Jake, my old college roommate, who worked in insurance now. "Dude, what's going on? Sarah saw your Facebook post. Are you and Tessa splitting up? Looks that way." "Man, I'm sorry. I always thought you guys were solid." "So did I. Turns out I was the only one thinking that. If you need anything, actually, you might be able to help me with something." I explained what I needed. Jake was quiet for a moment, then sighed. "Owen, I can't officially help you with surveillance stuff, but hypothetically, if someone wanted to document suspicious behavior for legal purposes, there are perfectly legal ways to do that. Hypothetically, public places, no expectation of privacy, that sort of thing." After we hung up, I drove to an electronics store and bought a small GPS tracker. Nothing fancy or illegal, the kind worried parents use to keep track of teenage drivers. That night, I waited until 2 a.m., then drove to Brett's apartment complex. His Mustang was parked under a streetlight, practically begging for attention. I attached the tracker to the undercarriage in about 30 seconds. Over the next week, I learned Brett's routine. Gym at 6 a.m., coffee shop at 8, lunch at various trendy spots around town. And 3 nights a week, he drove to my old house and stayed until morning. I documented everything. Photos, timestamps, GPS logs. I even started a spreadsheet, because apparently 15 years of marriage had turned me into the kind of person who tracks adultery with Excel. The breakthrough came on Thursday. I was following Brett to what I thought would be another coffee run, when he pulled into the parking lot of a seedy motel on the east side of town. The kind of place that rents rooms by the hour and doesn't ask questions. 20 minutes later, a silver Honda pulled up. Not Tessa's BMW. This was someone else, a brunette in a business suit, who clearly wasn't there for the continental breakfast. I took photos, lots of photos. Brett wasn't just cheating on his girlfriend with my wife. He was cheating on my wife with someone else entirely. The man was running a full-service operation. This changed everything. I called Tessa that evening. "We need to meet." "Owen, thank God. I've been hoping you'd come to your senses." "Oh, I have. Believe me. We met at a coffee shop downtown. Neutral territory." She looked beautiful, as always, but there was something desperate in her eyes now. "The girls miss you," she said. "Harper keeps asking when you're coming home." "I miss them too. That's why I'm here." "So you'll come back." "I didn't say that. I said we need to talk about the girls." Her face fell. "Owen, please. I know I've made mistakes, but we can fix this." "Can we? Because I'm not sure you understand what needs fixing." I pulled out my phone and showed her the photos from the motel. Her face went through several emotions: confusion, recognition, and finally, understanding. "That's not what it looks like." "Really? Because it looks like Brett is cheating on you with someone else while you're cheating on me with him. It's like a Russian nesting doll of infidelity." "You followed him?" "I followed the GPS tracker I put on his car. Perfectly legal in a public parking lot, by the way." She stared at the photos. "Who is she?" "I was hoping you could tell me. But I'm guessing Brett hasn't mentioned his other extracurricular activities." The silence stretched between us. Finally, she looked up. "What do you want?" "I want you to stop lying. To me, to the girls, to yourself." "I'm not, Tessa. I have 3 weeks of documentation. Phone records, GPS logs, photos, timestamps. I know exactly where you've been, when you've been there, and who you've been with." Her hands shook slightly. "Are you threatening me?" "I'm informing you. There's a difference." "What happens now?" I leaned back in my chair. Now you get to decide what kind of person you want to be. The kind who fights for her family, or the kind who keeps chasing whatever Brett is selling. And if I choose Brett, then you get to explain to Lydia and Harper why Mommy's new boyfriend is more important than they are. She started crying then. Real tears, not the performative kind she used when she wanted something. I never meant for this to happen. But it did happen. And now we all have to live with the consequences. I stood up to leave, then turned back. Oh, and Tessa, you might want to ask Brett about his friend in the silver Honda. I have a feeling there are things he hasn't told you either. As I walked away, I could hear her calling Brett. The conversation was going to be interesting. My phone buzzed with a text from an
She texted you come back to bed at 3 a.m. Last Tuesday, you told me you were at your sister's.
Watch more on Grammarly.com.
unknown number. Stay away from my business, or you'll regret it. I smiled and typed back. Your business became my business when you made it my family's business. See you soon. Time to take this public. I spent the weekend with Lydia and Harper, teaching them how to make pancakes and watching movies. Normal dad stuff. The kind of stuff I'd been doing alone for months while Tessa built her brand. Sunday evening, as I was driving them back to their mom's house, Lydia asked, Dad, are you happier now? The question caught me off guard. What do you mean, sweetheart? You smile more, and you don't look tired all the time. I'm happy when I'm with you and Harper. But are you happy? Like the way you used to be when you'd play guitar and sing those silly songs? I hadn't touched my guitar in 2 years. Tessa always complained it was too loud, too childish, too something. Maybe I should start playing again. Yes, and you should teach us. Harper bounced in her booster seat. I want to learn the princess song. When we pulled into the driveway, Tessa's BMW was there, but Brett's Mustang was nowhere to be seen. Interesting. Tessa met us at the door. She looked like she'd been crying, and her usual perfect composure was cracked around the edges. Girls, go wash up for dinner, she said. Daddy and I need to talk. After they went inside, she turned to me. You were right about Brett. Was I? About which part? The other woman. Her name is Jennifer. She's a real estate agent. They've been seeing each other for 6 months. I'm sorry. She looked surprised. You are? I'm sorry you got hurt. I'm not sorry you found out the truth. He said it didn't mean anything, that she was just physical, and I was emotional, and he needed both. Classy guy. I ended it, with Brett. I told him we were done. Good for you. So, can we try again? Can you come home? I looked at her. Really looked at her. She was beautiful, successful. Everything I'd thought I wanted when we were 23 and stupid in love. But somewhere along the way, she'd become a stranger who happened to share my address. I don't think so, Tessa. Why not? I ended it. I chose our family. You chose our family after you got caught. After Brett showed you exactly who he really is. That's not the same thing as choosing us first. People make mistakes, Owen. I made a mistake. This wasn't a mistake. A mistake is forgetting to pick up milk. This was a series of deliberate choices that went on for months. Her face hardened. So that's it. 15 years of marriage, and you're just giving up? I'm not giving up. I'm accepting reality. And the reality is that you checked out of this marriage a long time ago. The girls need their family together. The girls need parents who respect each other. Right now, I don't respect you, and you clearly don't respect me. I do respect you. Really? When was the last time you asked about my work? My day? My thoughts about anything that didn't directly affect your Instagram feed? She opened her mouth, then closed it. That's what I thought. Monday morning, I made a decision that would change everything. I created a Facebook post with photos of the GPS tracking data, the motel surveillance shots, and screenshots of the phone records. Nothing explicit. Nothing that would embarrass the girls when they were older, but enough to tell the story. The caption read, Sometimes the truth isn't pretty, but it's necessary. For anyone wondering why I moved out, here's your answer. I believe in marriage, family, and commitment. Apparently, not everyone shares those values. Moving forward with my daughters as my priority. I tagged Tessa, Brett, and several of their mutual friends, including Priya and Michelle, the women who'd been supporting Tessa through her difficult time. Then I hit publish and went to work. By lunch, my phone was blowing up. Comments, messages, friend requests from people I hadn't talked to in years. The post had been shared 43 times, but the most interesting response came from Priya, who called me directly. Owen, we need to talk. Do we? There are things you don't know about Tessa, about Brett, about all of this. I'm listening, not over the phone. Can you meet me after work? We met at a bar downtown. Priya looked nervous, constantly checking her phone and glancing around like she was afraid of being seen. I should have told you sooner, she said. But Tessa is my friend, and I thought, I hope she'd come to her senses. Tell me what? This thing with Brett? It's been going on for almost a year. Not months. A year. My stomach dropped. How do you know? Because I was there when it started. We were at this fitness conference in Chicago, and Brett was there representing his gym. Tessa got drunk at the hotel bar and started talking about how you didn't appreciate her, how you were holding her back. And Brett offered to comfort her. I tried to stop it, Owen. I told her she was being stupid, that she had a good husband and beautiful kids. But she said she deserved to feel desired again. Why are you telling me this now? Priya looked down at her drink. Because Brett isn't just cheating on Tessa, he's using her. Her Instagram following, her connections, her reputation. He's been planning to franchise his gym, and Tessa's been promoting it for free. She doesn't know, she thinks they're partners, but I've seen the paperwork. Her name isn't on anything. When this all falls apart, she'll have nothing. I stared at her. You've known this whole time and said nothing? I tried to warn her, but she wouldn't listen. She said I was jealous of her success. What success? She teaches yoga classes and posts workout videos. Exactly, but Brett convinced her she was building an empire. I finished my drink and stood up. Thank you for telling me. What are you going to do? Whatever I have to do to protect my daughters. As I walked to my car, my phone buzzed. A text from Brett. Take down that post or there will be consequences. I screenshotted the message and posted it as a comment on my original Facebook post with the caption, "And here's Brett Simons threatening me for telling the truth. Stay classy, buddy." The war was officially on. Brett made his move on Wednesday. I was picking up the girls from school when I saw his red Mustang in the parking lot. He was leaning against it, arms crossed, trying to look intimidating. I walked over after making sure Lydia and Harper were safely in my car. We need to talk, he said. I told you, no we don't. You're destroying people's lives with your little social media tantrum. I'm sharing facts. If the facts are destroying lives, maybe the problem isn't the facts. He stepped closer. Brett was bigger than me, all gym muscle and protein powder confidence. Take down those posts. Or what? Or I'll make you take them down. I pulled out my phone and started recording. Go ahead, make me, right here in front of an elementary school with dozens of witnesses. His face flushed red. You think you're so smart. Compared to you, yeah, I do. Tessa told me what a pathetic husband you were, how you never satisfied her, never appreciated what you had. And yet she married me and had 2 kids with me. What does that say about your appeal? She's with me now. Actually, according to my sources, she ended things with you after she found out about Jennifer, the real estate agent. So technically, she's not with anyone right now. His confidence wavered. You don't know what you're talking about. I know you've been running a side business out of that motel on Eastgate Drive. I know you've been using my wife to promote your gym without putting her name on any of the legal paperwork. And I know you just threatened me in front of a school full of kids. I held up my phone, all recorded, by the way. You son of a... Daddy! Harper's voice cut through his anger. She was standing by my car, looking scared. Are you okay? Brett looked at my 7-year-old daughter, then back at me. Even he wasn't stupid enough to continue this in front of her. This isn't over, he muttered. Yeah, it is, I said. You just don't know it yet. That evening, I uploaded the video to Facebook with the caption, Brett Simons threatening me in front of my daughter's school. This is the man my wife thought was worth destroying our family for. Judge for yourselves. The response was immediate and overwhelming. Comments flooded in from friends, neighbors, and complete strangers. Brett's gym's Facebook page was bombarded with negative reviews. Someone had even found Jennifer, the real estate agent, and was posting screenshots of her Yelp reviews. But the most interesting call came from Michelle, Tessa's other close friend. Owen, I owe you an apology. Do you? I believed Tessa when she said you were controlling and unsupportive. I encouraged her to live her truth and follow her heart. And now? Now I realize her truth was built on lies, and her heart was leading her straight off a cliff. What changed your mind? Brett called me tonight. He wanted me to convince you to take down the posts. He said Tessa was just a side piece, and that you were ruining his real relationship with Jennifer. My blood boiled. He said that, word for word. He never cared about Tessa, Owen. She was just convenient. After we hung up, I sat in my apartment, staring at my guitar in the corner. For the first time in months, I picked it up and started playing. Nothing fancy, just the silly songs Lydia had mentioned. The ones I used to play when the girls were little and Tessa would laugh instead of complain about the noise. My phone rang. Tessa. Owen, please. You have to stop this. Stop what? Telling the truth. You're humiliating me. My clients are canceling. People are staring at me everywhere I go. Welcome to my world for the past year. That's different. How? I never tried to destroy your career. You didn't have to. I was too busy holding our family together while you tore it apart. I made a mistake. How long are you going to punish me for it? I'm not punishing you, Tessa. I'm protecting myself and our daughters from any more of your mistakes. The girls are asking questions. They want to know why people are talking about mommy at school. That stopped me cold. What kind of questions? Lydia asked me if I was a bad person. Harper wanted to know why her friend's mom wouldn't let them have a play date anymore. I closed my eyes. This was the part one we'd been dreading. What did you tell them? I told them that sometimes adults make choices that hurt other people, and that mommy was sorry for the choices she made. That's actually honest. I'm trying to be better, Owen. For them. For us. It's too late for us. But not for them. They need their mother. They need their mother to be someone they can respect. I'm working on that. Good. Work on it as a single mother. The next day, I filed for divorce. I also filed for primary custody, citing Tessa's neglect of parental duties and involvement with an individual who had threatened me in front of our children. My lawyer, a sharp woman named Patricia, who came highly recommended, looked over my documentation and whistled. This is thorough, almost obsessively so. Is that bad for your case? It's perfect. For your mental health? We might want to talk about finding a hobby that doesn't involve tracking your ex-wife's movements. Fair enough. The custody request is solid. The evidence of neglect is clear, and the threatening behavior from her friend gives us grounds to request supervised visitation if needed. I don't want to keep the girls from their mother. I just want to make sure they're safe. That's exactly what we're going to do. 2 weeks later, Brett's gym closed. The negative publicity, combined with several clients demanding refunds and the landlord refusing to renew his lease, had killed his business. He left town without saying goodbye to anyone, including Jennifer, the real estate agent. Tessa showed up at my apartment that night, crying. He's gone, she said. Brett's gone. He cleaned out his apartment and left. I'm sorry. Are you? Really? I thought about it. I'm sorry you're hurt. I'm not sorry he's gone. I lost everything, Owen. My marriage, my reputation, my friends, and for what? A man who called me a side piece? You didn't lose everything. You still have Lydia and Harper. Do I? They look at me differently now, like they're disappointed. Kids are resilient. Show them who you really are, and they'll forgive you. What if I don't know who I really am anymore? Then figure it out, but do it as their mother, not as someone's side piece. She wiped her eyes. I don't expect you to forgive me. Good, because I don't. But maybe someday you won't hate me? I looked at her, really looked at her. The perfect makeup was gone. The Instagram-ready outfit was replaced with jeans and a sweatshirt. She looked more like the woman I'd married than she had in years. I don't hate you, Tessa. I hate what you did. There's a difference. Is there any chance? No, there isn't. She nodded, accepting what I'd been trying to tell her for weeks. The girls want to have dinner with both of us tomorrow, together. They said they have something important to tell us. Okay, but we're not getting back together. I know. But maybe we can learn to be good divorced parents instead of bad married ones. The next evening, we sat in my old kitchen, our old kitchen, with Lydia and Harper between us. They'd made a presentation on construction paper with drawings and carefully written words. We know you and Mommy aren't going to live together anymore, Lydia read. And we know it's because grown-ups sometimes make mistakes that can't be fixed. Harper held up her drawing of our family, now split into 2 houses. But we want you to know that we love you both, and we don't want you to fight anymore. We talked about it, Lydia continued. And we think maybe this is better. Daddy is happier now, and maybe Mommy will be happier too when she figures out what she wants to be. I looked at Tessa across the table. She was crying, but she was smiling too. We're going to be okay, I told them. All of us. just differently than before. 6 months later, the divorce was final. I got primary custody. Tessa got weekends and holidays. She'd started seeing a therapist and had taken a job teaching fitness classes at a community center. Real classes, not Instagram performances. Brett never came back. Jennifer, the real estate agent, moved to Florida. Priya and Michelle slowly rebuilt their friendship with Tessa. But it was different now, more honest. And me? I started a small IT consulting business, bought a house with a music room, and taught my daughters how to play guitar. We have pizza nights and movie marathons, and I tuck them into bed every night with silly songs and made-up stories. Sometimes Lydia asks if I'm lonely. I tell her I'm not lonely when I'm living honestly. And for the first time in years, that's exactly what I'm doing. Tessa was right about one thing. Her problems were my problems. But only until I decided they weren't anymore.